Okay, so we have three different ways of talking about these parts of the whole. And some of them are used for specific reasons or purposes. Like, for instance, it's much easier to add decimals than it is to add fractions, because when you're adding fractions, you have to make sure that the denominators match. So if you can move the fractions into a decimal, then it's much easier to do some of the math functions. However, decimals are not always accurate. Sometimes, like for instance, with the fraction 2/3, if I were to convert the fraction 2/3 into a decimal, I wouldn't have a very accurate measurement. And accurate measurements are very important, especially when you're talking about scientific experiments. You don't want to forget about tiny little bits of the fraction over a period of time and end up having your experiment go dangerously wrong. So we're very lucky to have percentages, fractions, and decimals all as different ways to talk about a part of a whole. But converting back and forth between those different parts can be a little intimidating. I have made this chart for you so that you can see that we have some little tips and tricks here that make this a lot easier. I'm a big fan of making things super simple and taking away the complexity and the intimidation of things. So as you can see here, there are little tips and tricks for moving back and forth easily between these different ways of talking about a part of a whole. The easiest one is here between decimal and percentage, and it just has to do with moving this dot. That's it. So let's take a look at that one first.